Hello, I'm Extracat, and Minecraft are adding new mob variants to the spring drop, and we just got a hint as to what's going to be added this week. That's because late at night they shared this Instagram message, which is heat, ice, and everything nice, with an attached image showing a hot biome, a cold biome, and then a place that you could store some form of animal. This was a good hint, and then you see this tweet where a baby zombie has to pick between 3 rides, and you get a bit more suspicious, but what really gives it away is the TikTok they posted. Yes, brand new variants of the chickens are coming for hot and cold biomes in this week's snapshot and preview, and here's the question now: if they're doing this to a third mob, how many other passive mobs are going to get updates with new variants? That's a question I'll attempt to answer today, alongside the one of how many more snapshots and betas we're going to be getting before this comes out for everyone, because those are 2 big questions I'm sure you'd love to have answered. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date with the latest Minecraft news, please do subscribe to the channel. It's how you can stay up to date with not just the news, but also the analysis on it, like the fact that this is some of the most interesting news we've seen, because now we are fairly sure there's going to be 2 new types of chicken. I think looking at all these 3 things combined, that's exactly what you see. However, what exactly do those new chickens look like? We will not actually know. This is really bizarre to be literally a few days out from seeing it, and therefore they either aren't designed yet and so they can't show us, or it is the big headline feature of this snapshot, and unlike the last one where they could show us the cows because there was a surprise of the firefly, there's no such surprise this week, and that would still be pretty impressive to have 2 mobs in just a week, as opposed to 3 weeks is what the last one took. And so that is why I think we're just going to be seeing chickens and not too much else. Certainly not any cheese, although that'd be a pleasant surprise. And so what do the chickens look like? We don't know till Wednesday, but if you want a good vibe, we can look at Minecraft Dungeons and indeed Minecraft Earth with their amber chickens and their skew bowl chickens. However, even then I would say the last 2 mob variants didn't come from Minecraft's other games, and so these 2 are unlikely to, which is a shame because the cluck shroom is such a cool looking mob variant for the chicken. Wouldn't it be cool if this could spawn exclusively in the mushroom biomes? I mean, we already have hot and coldest temperatures, why not mushroom as one too? But even more interestingly to me would be the question of what mob are they going to be adding next as a new one to be getting variants. I mean, obviously we've seen variants of the pig, that was our first week, and then we saw variants of the cow, and now we're seeing variants of the chicken. What other mobs need to get variants? Well, it's worth mentioning that temperature variants already exist for quite a few other mobs. We have hot and cold rabbits, of course. We sort of have the same for frogs, and we even have hot and cold villagers, if you don't mind me dehumanizing them, raising this point that, as you can see as I circle them here in paint, that most of the mobs that have hot and cold variants are going to be passive, and so this is the place we should be looking. Some Minecraft mobs already have variants which are unrelated, and there's a really interesting question to be raised about why is the brown and the red mushroom have nothing to do with temperature? Why is the same true for mules? Why do we have 35 variants of the horse, but none of them are related to where the horse spawns? Similarly with the axolotl and its rarity, there are lots of questions we can ask about basically all of the variants we get for mobs. Why do salmon sizes just seem to randomly vary more than anything else? Tropical fishes too. I could do this all day till I go insane, but I think what would be much more interesting is to say that clearly if Minecraft is going to add a variant for another mob, it's going to be one on this list which isn't in the green or yellow circle yet, and so is it going to be the camel or the armadillo? I think these could be a logical choice, but they're not the obvious one, are they? I think everyone is screaming at me that obviously it's the guy sitting next to my face. The next one that they should add is probably going to be the sheep. This is because it's the last of the OG Minecraft mobs to get the hot and cold variants, and I think it would be a really good reason for one extra purpose, which is that when they update these textures, which they would of course do for both Java and Bedrock, it would provide them with an opportunity to finally allow Java sheep to catch up with Bedrock sheep. If you don't know right now, when you shear a sheep on Java, you have no idea what color wool it is. I guess you could argue wool is a variant type for sheep, but you have no idea what color of wool the sheep has, and that is something that just isn't the case on Bedrock, and so that could be very easily solved if, and only if, they bring parity between the 2 versions. Of course, a part of me is bitter that, like, oh, so Java can get features Bedrock doesn't, but, Java can't, gets to have all of the features that Bedrock does. A part of me would feel like that's about the whole thing, but another part of me would just say, yeah, sheep being in parity sounds awesome to me, and so if there's going to be a 4th mob, I think that it's going to be the sheep. However, this is me using perhaps the faulty heuristic that the only mobs they've updated have been passive, because technically it's not quite true. What other mobs have hot and cold variants? Well, if we go to the full Minecraft wiki collection, that's what we've got right here, you can see that in passive, that is correct. But as we go to neutral and hostile, you can see that, yeah, actually, the looking at the stray, that is just a cold variant of a skeleton. And indeed, looking at the zombie, and therefore the husk, you can see we have a warm variant of a zombie and a cold variant of a skeleton. If we're already adding all these variants anyway, and they mostly seem to be for aesthetic reasons, would it be cool if we got a new variant that actually did something awesome? I think that the bogged, even though it's just a new type of skeleton, actually adds so much to Minecraft, and so wouldn't it be cool if we had a new skeleton variant that did something to do with the hot biomes? I actually hate skeletons, but you know, it'd be cool if it was there anyway. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a new zombie variant that froze you when it hit you and tried to do something to do with the coldness of those biomes? I think that would be really, really fun. I think you could make the argument for basically any other mob here. However, I think the reason that these two make a lot of sense is because if we scroll down on this same page, the Minecraft wiki has a ridiculous amount about mobs, by the way, if you ever want to learn about them, but it also has a chronological history of when they were added. The first mobs were added in Java Edition Pre-Classic, and the first mobs from modern day Minecraft were the creepers, pigs, skeletons, and zombies. And what's interesting about that is if you look here, you can see that, like, okay, so pigs, that's something there too. And then if you look through further, you can see, like, oh yeah, they also started to add in cows and then chickens. And cows and chickens got added with their variants in the exact same order, you know, v1.08 versus v1.014, as they were added to the game. And so, if they were to add the, you know, anything else, it could be in this order too. However, this makes me think, if there's going to be another mob which gets variants, a hostile mob, it could be the spider, sure, it could be skeletons, or it could be, indeed, the zombie. But if they want to make a splash with this update, and we know they're always looking to do that, wouldn't the mob that would make the most sense, if we're using this chronological system, actually be the creeper? A creeper coming to Minecraft with variants would be such a fun thing. Imagine if the explosion did something fiery, like a ghast does, or did something frosty. I think this would be such a fun thing that we've never seen Minecraft do, but what if in the same way we have strays and bogs, and in the same way that we have drowns and we have husks, what if we had a new creeper variant? And that is my theory that I'm going to drop right now. I have to concede there is a small chance that the boring version of this is right, and they only intend to update passive mobs because it's easy. You just need a new texture. You need literally nothing else to bring them into the game. Whereas the creeper, what are you going to do? You're going to create a new type of, like, drop for that? Like, that sounds like a nightmare. A part of me totally thinks that that is true. But if the spring drop is here to do some fun little things, I would love to see them update some other mob, even if it's the zombie or the skeleton. But if it is the creeper or the spider, I think it would be very, very fun to see. But what do you think, I guess, is the question. After watching all of this video, do you think any of these other mobs make sense to have hot and cold variants? Do you think hot and cold variants itself is already quite limiting? That the mushroom is a much more interesting cow variant than the hot or the cold cow? I would love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. And otherwise, it's 1 something AM here in the UK. Minecraft brought out this news very late, but hopefully you appreciated me getting it to you as quick as we could, because I'm going to go immediately to bed, if I'm being honest. Have a good night. See ya.